Hi, I'm Tammy. Welcome to my channel, From Gratitude to Greatness. This morning I've been prepping for Super Bowl tomorrow. Actually, I'm releasing this tomorrow, so it'll be today for you. But I'm making my dinner. These are a few of the appetizers that I'll be serving tomorrow for Super Bowl. But I have jalapeno poppers made with fresh jalapeños, toasted and stuffed with a red pepper cream cheese spread, topped with bacon and a little bit of green onion in there. I have stuffed mushrooms. And then I have these nice, tasty Caprese rolled up sandwiches. So these are just a few of the things that I'm making tomorrow for Super Bowl. So anyway, thank you for joining me, and I'll have the recipes down below in the description box, and I hope you enjoy making them and let me know how everything turns out for you, okay? Have a great Super Bowl Sunday. I will. Seahawks are gonna win for sure. Hey everybody, it's Super Bowl Sunday and the Seahawks are playing. So anyway, I'm gonna whip up a few appetizers this afternoon. And I'm gonna make it a little bit simple using a similar filling for 3 different items. I'm gonna make stuffed jalapeno poppers, and they're gonna be stuffed with a roasted red pepper cream cheese filling topped with a little bit of bacon. And then I'm gonna make a rolled up caprese sandwich. And the spread is gonna be with a roasted red pepper cream cheese balsamic spread. So there I'm gonna use the cream cheese again. And then I am going to make stuffed mushrooms. And I will add a couple more ingredients to the roasted red pepper cream cheese that I have to fill the mushrooms with. So anyway, 3 with my cream cheese. And I have here, it was kind of soft when I took it out of the package, but right here I have 3 8-ounce packages of Philadelphia cream cheese. So that's gonna be, for my filling, I'm gonna put it in the food processor. But I started roasting jalapenos and roasted red peppers. I started roasting them on my gas stove. But if you don't have a gas stove, you can put them under a broiler in your oven and just turn them so that all 4 sides get a bit roasted. Or easier yet is roast them on your barbecue. So I'm gonna show you how I do that right now. Be sure to wear your gloves for the jalapenos because you don't want any of those seeds, you know, on your hands and then touch another part of your body. Okay, so here I have some the roasted red peppers in the center, and they're almost all the way roasted. These ones, this one actually is, and this one on the back are roasted. I still have to roast this one right here. So the jalapenos, I don't want them quite as roasted as the red peppers because they need to be a little bit firmer to fill them. So anyway, next I take plastic bags while they're still warm. You want them to sweat a little bit. So I have a couple plastic bags here, and I'm gonna turn off this. I'm gonna place my jalapenos in the bag. You can't really see. I'm not a very good photographer here. So I'm gonna place them all in the bag, and then I'm gonna seal them up like that. And then I'm gonna take my red peppers, well, they're still warm, and I'm gonna do the same thing. 1, 2, I have 3 large red peppers for this. So I'm just gonna seal them up. Gonna let them set there for probably 10 or 15 minutes, and then we're gonna peel them. So let's let them rest. Okay, so now my roasted red peppers they've steamed a little bit in my plastic bag here. So I have a bowl of clean, cool water right here. And normally I would do this under the sink, only it's just too hard for me to film over by this sink by myself. And I don't know how to rig up more than one camera or iPad. I use my iPad. So you see how it's all charred. So I just will dip it in the water and then kind of rub the charred skin off. Peel it off, see how it comes off. But like I said, normally I would do it under running cold water, but this works pretty well. So, and then I'm not wasting so much water too, I guess. And it doesn't matter if you leave some black spots on there. You know, it's just gonna add to the flavor. So, there we go. Okay, now I'm gonna open it up just on the side. Ooh, it's hot. So dip it in the cold water. Still a little warm. You could, you know, let them set a little while longer than, you know, the 10 minutes or so. So I have my little compost bowl. So now I'm just gonna rinse the seeds out here. And extra black spots. Rinse, rinse, rinse. So there we go. See, I still have a little bit on there, but it's okay. It just adds to the flavor. So I'm gonna rip it up in a few pieces and put it here in my food processor. And I'm gonna be on to the next one. Is everyone watching the Super Bowl today? You gotta be grateful when your team's in the Super Bowl. Last time the Seahawks were in the Super Bowl and they came back, man, it was a party downtown. I didn't go, but my sister and brother-in-law and her kids went. And I don't know how many thousands of people they had celebrating the win, but it was pretty fabulous. We're a really big sporting community in Seattle. You know, we shake those little earthquake monitors when they're yelling and screaming in the stadiums. So we love our Seahawks, and everybody gets really excited. Yesterday in my town where I live, it's a couple hours outside of Seattle, or an hour and a half maybe, in a place, a civic field it's called, they put the word out that everybody was supposed to wear Seahawks colors and head down there, and they were gonna make a large number 12 with all the people, and they did that, and then I saw it posted on Facebook. I don't know how many people, if they counted the number of people that went down there, but anyway, it sounds like it was a good time. I have a friend who went, and yeah, she had fun, so it's pretty great. Okay, so there we go. See, just a few spots of black. Okay, so I have my 3 roasted red peppers there. I'm gonna take off my gloves, put this away from here. Now I have my garlic cloves. I open up whole garlic cloves, and then I put them in this jar with olive oil, and then just leave them in there in the fridge. And so anytime I need garlic, I can just pull a couple out, or I can just pull out oil too. See, I can get like oil, and I use that in odds and ends of things. But I'm gonna put maybe 3 small garlic cloves in there. In my oil. There we go. Now I'm gonna whip those up here in my handy dandy food processor. So, let me know in the comments what you're doing for Super Bowl. You making any good, or going to the supermarket and buying some pre-made food? years ago, I used to manage a deli department at a grocery store. And Super Bowl Sunday, the weekend before, well, Friday and Saturday before and Sunday, we were busy selling out of dips and spreads and trays and all kinds of things. So anyway, okay, now I have my 3 packages of cream cheese here. Just gonna add that, squish that all in, and it's warmed up, so it's soft, as you can see. Stick it in there. Whip it up. Guess I need to scrape the edges, so I'll get my little scraper. There we go. Ooh, it's actually a little liquidy, but it will firm up. I can put it in the fridge. And it will harden up a little bit before I put it in my jalapeños. Okay. So the past few days where I live, it was sunny, well, mostly sunny and nice and warm, almost 60. And yeah, really unusually warm weather. So grateful, you know, you got to be grateful when you get the warm weather, but our snowpack is so low in the mountains. It's scary if it doesn't start snowing. But now I'm ready for spring. I got a taste of it and, you know, planted some seeds indoors in my starting little pots. And so I'm ready for spring, but it does need to snow. So anyway, but today is rainy, so I guess I gotta be grateful. I got a little bit more rain. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this in a bowl and put it back in the fridge to get a little bit thicker. Now I have a bunch of green onions that I'm gonna finely chop to go into my cream cheese spread. I'm not gonna stick them in the food processor because I don't want them just to get all mushed up. So I slice them down the middle of each one a little bit so that I can slice them tinier. So be sure to let me know what kind of food you're making for the Super Bowl. Nobody has left any comments on my on any of my YouTube videos. So it would be nice to get a comment or two. I guess 1 or 2 people did. But it would be nice to get some comments, and like and subscribe, maybe share with a friend or 2. That would be wonderful. You know, I'm just trying something different. Just been staying home, so trying to occupy my time. Trying to get used to talking on the camera. Get used to trying to figure YouTube out, how to edit. You know, I don't edit very much, so you're seeing really the real me, not a fake me. So anyway, unedited Tammy. But I really am appreciative and grateful that you are tuning in to me today. So thank you for that. Okay, so I have those all chopped. Now I'm just gonna, I'm gonna get my bowl and add it to my bowl. Here I have my bowl. Stick it right in there. Yes, yes, yes. So the next thing, when this chills down a bit and gets a little firmer, I'm going to get out my lavash bread. I get this at Trader Joe's. It rolls up really nicely like a tortilla. So I'll mix a little bit of this cream cheese spread with some balsamic reduction. And what that is balsamic vinegar. And you can cook it on your stove top until it thickens up, or you can buy it pre-made. I also bought that at Trader Joe's, so but you can get it pretty much anywhere. And it's just a thicker version of balsamic vinegar, you know, a little bit stronger, but it goes really well with a tomato, basil, fresh mozzarella sandwich or salad. Put some of that as a drizzle, or like I'm gonna do, mix it with my cream cheese here. So, okay, we have that all ready to go in the fridge. Just stick my onions in. Stir them around a little. I probably shouldn't have put it in for my Caprese sandwich spread, but anyway, whatever. I'm not gonna start over again. And once I stir them up, it's not that many onions, so it's not gonna hurt. But there we go. So I will stick it in here. There we are. On to the next thing. I'm ready to clean out my jalapeños. So I'm gonna peel the skin off. These are, you don't quite roast these as much as you do the red peppers, because you really want the red peppers soft. These just need to be a little bit more firm, so they're just lightly charred, and they do have a thicker skin, so you don't have to get all the black off. Just dip them, rinse them off a little bit. So do this, and I lost my knife. Where's my knife? Okay. And instead of wrapping them in bacon, I'm gonna sprinkle bacon on the top, because usually when you see jalapeno poppers, they might be wrapped in bacon if you're making them with bacon. But this way is much easier. So, okay, let me put my knife here. Okay. Got my knife. So, just gonna take it and cut it in half. There we are. There's half. And then I have my little composter here, and I have this little, I think this is like for making butter pats, or I don't know, scraping fruit, whatever. But I'm gonna just scrape my seeds out with that. If it's a little hard, you can, maybe you need to get the top off with your fingers and then scrape a little bit. There we go. These are kind of flattening out a little bit. You don't have to roast them, but I like roasted jalapenos better than, you know, without roasting them. They have more of an uncooked flavor. So then I'm going to put them upside down on a paper towel in a pan, so all the moisture soaks out of them. The other half. And just leave the stems on if you have a stem. If you don't, then it's no big deal. Scrape. I want to rinse the seeds all the way out. There we go. Face down. And let's see, how many did I cook here or roast? The bigger, the better. The bigger, they're easier to work with. Oh, and they're a little spicy. I can't handle the smell of jalapenos or New Mexico chilies anymore now that I've gotten older. Sometimes I have a hard time breathing when I do it. So anyway, I have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 jalapenos. Okay, here are my jalapenos. Just the liquid is dripping out of them because we want them dry when we put our cream cheese mixture in. Next, we're gonna get our mushrooms ready, and I have my pan ready for those. And what we're gonna do, these have been rinsed off lightly and just rub the dirt off. You don't want to, like, I don't soak them. Some people don't even wash them, they just kind of brush them off. Mushrooms are like a sponge. They already have enough liquid in them already. So anyway, I'm saving the stems because after I'm done with all the cream cheese mixture and the jalapeños and my spread, I'm gonna chop the mushroom stems and put them in the remaining cream cheese filling that I'm gonna fill the mushrooms with. So just pop the little stems out, just like that, like that. Okay, I didn't get very many. I think it's just gonna be my husband and I tomorrow anyway. So then I'm going to just tap them dry here on my paper towel. I'm gonna get a little bit of olive oil spray. And I have my little, this little sprayer so I can put my own olive oil in it. So I'm gonna keep them face down, and we're just gonna slightly cook them on 350 just to get more of the moisture out before we put our filling in. So I'm just gonna lightly spray them. There, maybe just rub it around on the top a little bit. I like my sound effects. Mushrooms aren't my favorite. Actually, I don't really eat them at all. I grew up with parents who belonged to a mycological society, and they loved all mushrooms, and they went mushroom picking and talked about mushrooms, and they just loved to do that. And I would go mushroom picking with them, but my sister and I would never eat the mushrooms. My brother, he would, but yeah, it was always a big thing. Where we live, you can find morels in the fall, and then the spring after the snow melts. No, it's morels in the spring. That's right, morels in the spring after the snow melts, and chanterelles in the fall, and then the little puff balls in like fields. And so every time of year they would go when they could. So anyway, there's those. Now I'm gonna stick them in the oven just for maybe, oops, not that oven, the lower oven. I don't know, 5 minutes or so. And then I'm gonna set them face down on a paper towel, and more moisture is going to seep out, as just like with my jalapeños here. So in the meantime, I can chop my mushrooms. Stick them in. Does anyone out there in TV land, YouTube land, go mushroom picking? Gosh, you know that mushrooms grow quite well after the following year after a forest fire. So you'll see a lot of people mushroom picking up where there had previously been forest fires. I know where my cousin and her husband live in a town several hours away from here. They had a fire surrounding their house. And so I think it was the following year, they had gunny sacks and gunny sacks of morel mushrooms that they picked, and I think they probably dried a bunch, and well, they gave a bunch away. But okay, so there are those, and I will save those. And then I have about a 1/4 cup of parsley that I'm saving, for my mushroom filling. So that's there. I'm gonna get some basil. Ugh, can't turn the lid. Okay, there we go. So I'm just gonna do like probably like a teaspoon of basil. I know I'm measuring with a tablespoon, but I don't usually really measure. I like do everything by just the way I feel. So, and that's probably a teaspoon of oregano. This is fresh oregano from my garden that I dried last year. So there we go. So that is all ready and waiting for my mushroom filling. So. Okay, I took my chilled cream cheese, roasted red pepper filling out of the refrigerator, so thickened up a bunch. So I'm going to take some out for my cream cheese poppers. And I'm actually gonna add some mozzarella cheese. I'm gonna add 1 cup. And I'm gonna mix that in. And that'll be so good. Can't wait to eat. I'm like starving. I can't wait to eat. Eat a couple. So there we go. That's perfect. And in the meantime, I had chopped some bacon and cooked it in the fry pan. And I had their little bite-sized pieces to sprinkle on top of my spread once I put it in my jalapeños. So, like I said, you could mix it into your mixture as well, but it also looks nice on the top. So, or you can do both. But I'm only, like I said, I'm only going to cook a couple right now for my dinner, and to show you what they look like. And you can use a pastry too, but today I'm just gonna like take a little spatula, spread it in there a little bit. Then that mozzarella cheese will melt on in, and if you wanted, you could even sprinkle a little bit on top. Maybe I'll do that because that will hold the filling in a little bit better if I sprinkle a little more cheese on the top. So some here. Put a little bit on the top. There we go. It'll form a nice little crust on the top. And then a couple little pieces of bacon. There we go. And I'll do another one. This one I just made, after I did the first couple, I just decided to make a slit in the top like I would with jalapeños. And that way you have just a little pocket in there instead of slicing off the top. I think that will work out much better. With a pastry tube, it would probably be less messy too. So, but anyway, I'm doing it this way for now. Maybe tomorrow when I do my ones for the Super Bowl, I'll get the pastry tube out and do that. There we go. Mozzarella on the top. There we go. And a little bit of bacon. Perfect. Okay, and those are ready to go in the oven. But I'm gonna do a couple mushrooms as well. But But I'm going to get another small bowl because I'm going to mix some, I have here about 1/4 cup of celery and then the mushroom stems, and I'm going to mix a little bit of that in my filling for my mushrooms. So let me grab another little bowl. Well, here I got a really little bowl. It was handy. So mix a little bit in here. And I'll just cook a couple. My husband can have those for his dinner. Like I said, I'm not a mushroom person. But anyway, normally if I make stuffed mushrooms, I use Jimmy Dean sausage filling with cream cheese, Jimmy Dean sausage, and some basil, a little bit of garlic, and onion, and that's quite good. At least the filling's good. Maybe not the mushroom part for me, but people who like mushrooms really like that filling. So, but I like to taste the filling. Anyway, so I didn't make very much right now. Well, I guess I better make more for tomorrow. Since I put all the mushroom stems in. But I only have 6 mushrooms here, so I really don't need very much. If I have leftover filling, then I can just buy more jalapeños. Not with the mushroom stems, but there we go. So that was all of the mushroom, those 6 mushroom stems chopped up, 1/4 cup of celery, and then I had 1/4 cup of parsley and like a teaspoon of basil and a teaspoon of oregano. My bowl's way too small. It's the one that was handy though. But this will be a little better. There we go. I hope I'm making you guys hungry. I hope I'm making you want to make these appetizers one day. That would be wonderful. That's my goal. Anyway, I'm so happy you're watching. So grateful for that. Anyway, there we go. Perfect. Now, I guess I'm just gonna cook the smaller ones for tonight. So I'm gonna have a lot left over. I might need to go buy more mushrooms tomorrow. So there we go. One. I'm gonna stack it up a little. And I could have saved a little bit of the parsley to top the mushrooms off when they're done cooking. If I stuck it on the top now, it would just turn an ugly green, so you do it after. Stick a little bit more on top there. There we go. So that's that for now. Oh, there's a fly. How did a fly get in here? Okay, I'm gonna stick these in the oven on 350 for about 15 minutes. And I'm gonna put the recipes in the description at the bottom under the video. I have sliced my beef steak tomato, very thin. This is, well, I just sliced one whole tomato for right now. And it's quite juicy, so I layered them in between paper towels. You don't want them soggy. So, there we go. Okay, this is my mushroom filling. Putting aside, I'll put it in the fridge. Now, I'm gonna get a small bowl again, once again. jalapeno filling. I'm just gonna take a little bit right now. Take some out. So this will be for one sandwich. And like I said, probably I wouldn't, since it has basil on the sandwich, I wouldn't put the green onion in like I did, but it's just my husband and I, so we'll leave it like that. And now I'm gonna take my balsamic reduction. It's called balsamic glaze, sometimes at the store. So I'm gonna put, let's put about a teaspoon in, so that's about a teaspoon. And take this, stir it around. And now I'm gonna add a tad bit of mayo. Let's say a couple teaspoons. Why don't we say a couple tablespoons. 1, 2. Like I said, for savory, I don't like to measure, but I will put the measurements in my description below. So mix that around. There we go. Okay, now I'm gonna take a piece of my lavash bread. Looks like my husband got into it. He ate like half of one. Okay, I'm gonna turn it the back side facing up. Now I want the spread all the way around the sandwich. I like to get the edges. I don't like dry edges, and if you get it along the edges, it also helps keep your sandwich, your rolled up sandwich, closed. So spread around the edges there. What's your favorite sandwich? I love Caprese sandwiches, these rolled up ones, especially in the summer when I pick tomatoes, fresh tomatoes from my garden. Then I buy the fresh mozzarella, and I have my fresh basil, and I would eat these every day for lunch. Sometimes I stick one of these rolled sandwiches in the oven and just like toast the bread on the outside and then cut it in half, and it's so good. Okay, so I have my spread totally spread out to every little corner there. Now, I'm gonna take my tomatoes and I'm gonna put like three across, so it's all the way across. Can't see there. So all the way across. And now I have my fresh basil leaves here, and you can put as many on as you like. I love basil, so I might put more on than the average person. I don't know, but see, they're already, they wilt so fast if it's, you know, I just purchased it at the store, so it doesn't last quite as long. So just making little layers, but I love basil, so we're gonna put plenty on for me. There we are. Okay, now I have, I buy a log of fresh mozzarella. And get a little paper towel because the liquid around the cheese likes to leak out. So this is, it already comes in like slices, but the slices are pretty thick. So I might take a slice out and see how thick that is. So then I just will slice it kind of a little bit thinner, a little bit on a diagonal. So then I'm gonna just spread it out, and I want like cheese in every little bite. Yeah, never leave any without a little bite of cheese or anything else for that matter. You want basil and tomato and your spread in every single bite. So that's really thick. Okay. Okay, you see that? There we go. Now I might put an extra little drizzle of the balsamic reduction just on top of my, just a little drizzle in a strip on my mozzarella. There. Okay. Now, fresh mozzarella always needs a little bit of pepper, in my opinion. So, fresh ground black pepper and tomatoes. I have to have pepper on my tomatoes. And then a little sprinkling of salt as well. Not too much. Okay. Now, you want to roll your sandwich as tight as you can get it. So you start and you roll it in at the end where there's no vegetables yet. Just roll it. You're rolling it in a pinwheel, just as tight as you can. It's a little bit thicker where the mozzarella is. When you slice your tomatoes, you try to get those as thin as you can too. But the tighter you roll it, the easier that your sandwich is gonna stay together. So that's good. See how the spread just sticks it together. So for me, I'm gonna heat this up a little bit so it gets a little bit toasted on the outside. And I'm going to toast it just whole like this and then cut it at a diagonal. It looks more beautiful if you cut it at a diagonal when it comes out. So I'm going to stick this right in the oven with my other things. There we go. Now we're just going to wait for those 3 things to cook up, and then I'll have my dinner, and then I'll be able to show you the finished product. So anyway, thank you for watching, and please like and subscribe. I'd really be great. Hey, I took my rolled up sandwich, Caprese sandwich out. Gonna slice it at a diagonal. There we go. 1 piece of basil. Come out. Now if you ever want to have a fancy plate, if you cut the bottoms off so they're straight across, you could face your sandwich upright like that. There we are. How does that look? I'm starving. I can't wait to eat. So anyway, I'm gonna go have my dinner. But thank you. Thank you so much for joining me. From gratitude to greatness, I'm Tammy. I'll see you next time. Okay? Please like and subscribe. Have a great Super Bowl.